And then another marketing chiropractor said, "Oh, social media." You know, he was so big on social media. He goes, "Oh, social media is going to blow up the 8% where there's more people." You know why social media is not going to blow up the 8% utilization?
Yeah, because you're just talking more crazy to people, and they don't want to hear it. I think it's going to drive it down.
You know what? There's two reasons, and one of them is exactly what you said, and what you said, driving it down, is exactly right, and that's what I told him. Here's why. Number one, chiropractic's already been branded. There's only two ways to lift a negative brand. There's only two ways. It's already been branded negatively because of chiropractic, but here's why social media is not going to increase utilization, and it will actually decrease and hurt chiropractic. Here's why. Social media is only a vehicle of communication. What you say, you can still say all kinds of confusing crap. So in the United States, how many people have never heard of a chiropractor, Mike?
Very few, I think.
That's why. In other words, it's already saturated. The awareness of chiropractic is already in the masses. Now, if there was a large group of the segment that didn't know chiropractic, then there's still possibility for branding them. But no, go out to your gas station at lunch and ask 10 people if they've ever heard of chiropractic. Go ahead, and 9.9 out of 10 of them will say yeah, unless they recently moved here, unless they're one of the recent illegal immigrants, right? So it's already known. So it's already market saturation with the branding. That's why it won't work. Now, the reason, Mike, that what you said is true, now I don't know if you know why though, Mike. Do you know why that there has a real high likelihood? Well, actually, you did say it. It's actually going to go down because now when social media, well, now who all is controlling the message of chiropractic as a profession?
Like other chiropractors.
Everybody. In other words, it's not coming from the ACA. In other words, it's not unified talking points that create a branded message. That's not what's happening. So now everybody's on YouTube talking about asthma, allergy, and cancers. I've never seen more chiropractors talk about cancer treatment than the event of social media. So now you have more vehicles of delivery to distribute more crap. You're exactly right, Mike. And that's why I said it's going to go down also. It has nothing to do with educating the public. They've already been educated in the craziness of chiropractors claiming they can do everything. So there is no branding. Now what you will do, Mike, is you will create authority and branding personally. In other words, you personally, with the attorneys you deal with, you can create authority and branding with that attorney, right?
Yes.
And that's what you have to do. That's why chiropractic does not have franchises, because there's too low of utilization. You actually have to create personal branding. In other words, they have to know, like, and trust you, because they don't with chiropractic.